Okay, great, thanks.
Friends, Convocation October 2022 is about to begin. For your enjoyment and safety during the ceremony, please listen to a few important announcements. As a courtesy to all of our graduates and guests, please remain for the duration of the ceremony. During the ceremony, please remain seated and keep the aisleways clear. This is required by fire regulation. In the case of an emergency evacuation, follow the directions of event personnel to the assembly point, which is located down the stairs behind you on the track and field. Please proceed slowly and carefully. Those with accessibility needs should proceed to the Halpern Center located northeast of Convocation Mall. There is a water station outside of Maggie Benson Center, which is on your right. Reusable water bottles, SFU blankets, and other gifts and mementos are available for purchase at the Spirit Shop in the Diamond Family Auditorium, which is on your right. In consideration of other guests, we ask that you refrain from conversation during the ceremony and please put cell phones on silent. And for those near and far, we encourage you to share your photos and messages on social media using #MySFUGrad. Now, if you're able, please rise for the academic procession.
Thank you all. Tashlimish at Salewatosh, Stamtamech. We are the Tsleil-Waututh Warriors. Amids at Kutquilam at Saltosh Smant. Welcome to this beautiful mountain that our Tsleil-Waututh people called Saltooth. Nikwans meestuch kwa Aishkwelwan at Mukwet at School Ot Misteuch. We bring good feelings and blessings to all of you and especially to the students, and we celebrate this day with you by bringing in our Tsleil-Waututh paddle song. Raising my hands to each and every one of you on this beautiful day. Hai Tsep Kasim.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the territory of the First Nations people of this area, Coquitlam, Squamish, Musqueam, Tsleil-Waututh, and good afternoon to the faculty of SFU, the President and Chancellor. It's a great honor to be present here with each and every one of you. A quick prayer and we'll continue our event. Great Spirit, thank you for bringing us together today. Just guide each and every one of us, especially the students who are graduating today. Warm their path as they leave us and bring them back again to us to work with us. I ask Great Spirit to bless all the elders in our communities and our young children, and letting us always remember that we are the leaders and the mentors of those who follow us, those who witness what we do and what we say, I ask Great Spirit just a very special blessing on today, on my relations. Thank you.
Another word has required. Thank you for sharing that warm welcome, Elder Margaret. Elder Margaret is a member of the SFU Elders Program. I'd also like to take a moment on our behalf to pay my respects to elders past and present. Thank you also to our cultural representatives, the Tsleil-Waututh Warriors. And the world-famous SFU Pipe Band. For opening this ceremony in a good way. I'd now like to invite Mr. Jason Spence, an SFU alumnus who has recently returned to SFU for a second degree and is a member of the SFU choir, to lead us in the singing of O Canada. For those of you in Convocation Mall, please remain standing, and for those of you online, please stand and join us if you are able.
O Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Thank you so much, Jason. We have so many talented students here at SFU. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Thank you for joining us today on the traditional, unceded and continuously occupied territories of the Squamish, Tsleil-Waututh, Musqueam, and Coquitlam peoples. For many years, Indigenous languages were outlawed by the government as part of an effort to assimilate Indigenous peoples in Canada. I speak these languages today to contribute to my own learning and to the language's revitalization, and to enhance our collective learning. In the shared territory on which our university sits, there are two Indigenous languages historically spoken. I recognize that the Hunkaminam and Squamish-speaking peoples have been in relationship with this land since time immemorial. We're privileged to gather here on what is now known as Burnaby Mountain, but what was first known as Tlaklakwetan by the Squamish people, which means where the arbutus bark gets peeled in the spring. And Saltoth, the Tsleil-Waututh place name for Burnaby Mountain, as we heard earlier. At SFU, we're committed to ongoing learning and growth, and it's my honor to share this knowledge with you today as SFU, and indeed all of Canada, continues on our path towards meaningful reconciliation. And now it is my pleasure to declare Convocation assembled for the granting of degrees. Madam President, members of the Board of Governors and Senate faculty, honored guests, graduands, and friends, my name is Tamara Vrooman, and I'm very privileged to be the Chancellor of Simon Fraser University. We're delighted and honored to have you join us for Convocation. In attendance today are a number of distinguished guests in the audience and on the platform, including members of Senate, vice presidents, deans, and faculty. I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge Dr. Afua Cooper, who will be conferred an honorary doctorate of letters this afternoon. I'd also like to recognize members of SFU's Black Caucus and our SFU alumni, legacy parents, partners, and families. We're so delighted to have you join us here today. Honored guests, friends, families, and loved ones, and most of all, graduates, welcome to SFU. Welcome to Convocation. What a beautiful day it is to celebrate this significant milestone. And after 2 years of sometimes in person, but mostly online, I have to say I will never tire of looking out at a group of people gathered in person, smiling at the celebration of a very, very special day. Being Chancellor at SFU is a wonderful job, but I have to say, for all of the energy and the reasons that you all know because you're gathered here today, Convocation is my favorite part, celebrating one of life's great milestones and achievements. Let me say, as I look out at all of you, you look absolutely fabulous from up here. You did it. We're so proud of you. On behalf of everyone at SFU, faculty, staff, alumni, congratulations. One of the other things I get asked to do, other than confer the degrees and preside over the convocation ceremony, is I'm invited to offer a piece of advice, a pearl of wisdom, something to remember as you leave this ceremony and move on throughout your lives. I can tell you, that's not such an easy task. You already know so much. After all, you're one of the most accomplished and resilient graduating classes in all of SFU's history. I don't have to tell you about what your education means or the power of what it gives you to change the world. You're using that power every day, and you've been resilient through the pandemic and tenacious in pursuing your education goals. As artists, entrepreneurs, activists, community leaders, as athletes, writers, organizers, student politicians, as scholars, scientists, poets, and journalists. In these and so many other ways, you're an incredible, diverse, confident group of graduates who have had a huge impact already on your community and here at SFU. And I know you'll continue doing great things in the wider world. I have absolutely no doubt. And the world really needs you now. I have no doubt, unfortunately, about that either. But let me offer this. As much as you have accomplished at SFU and as ready as you are for what's next, I think what you'll find, what I have found, is that the value of your education will only fully be realized with time. Wisdom, Albert Einstein said, is not a product of schooling, but of the lifelong attempt to acquire it. Knowledge is gained. Wisdom, on the other hand, is earned. And the wisdom that comes from your time spent working here with others in a common academic pursuit to achieve political change, to compete on a team, to test and push your limits, to question your assumptions, to commit to something bigger than yourselves, these are the building blocks of an examined life, a productive life, a life with purpose. I have relied on these learnings each and every day of my life since I sat in your place. I won't tell you how many years ago. They've made me a better public servant, a better CEO, and I hope a better member of our broader community. For me, this has been the enduring gift of education, that education must come into contact with the real world. in order for us to truly recognize its value. Education hasn't made me smarter than anyone else. It's not entitled me to more than is owed to my fellow citizens and neighbors, but it has, I hope, done just the opposite. Over time, my education has helped me see, and I hope it will help you see, that we share a common destiny, that we can achieve more by working together than we can by working alone, that we find purpose and meaning in community and each other, as our country and our world confront enormous challenges, from the climate crisis to the rise of authoritarianism. These values are more important than ever. So I invite you here, as you embark on the next chapter of your life, cherish them, nurture them, make them real in your lives and your work. And I promise you, you will be enriched, but so will your community. This is the ultimate gift of education. And please know that as you're moving on, SFU will always be your home. We're so grateful to have been a part of your life over these past few years. You're always welcome here. We hope to see you again soon. Once again, congratulations to you all. It is now my privilege to call upon the president of our university, Dr. Joy Johnson, to give her convocation address. Dr. Johnson.
Madam Chancellor, honored guests, graduands, it is a privilege to stand before you today on the unceded traditional territories of the Tsleil-Waututh, the Coquitlam, the Squamish, and the Musqueam peoples. It's also a privilege for Chancellor Vrooman and myself to wear these beautiful regalia. The motifs on these regalia were chosen by the Squamish hereditary chief, Janice George, and Willard Buddy Joseph. They represent the First Peoples and the food harvested on Burnaby Mountain. And it's an honor to share this very special day with you. I want to say welcome to all the parents, the spouses, the grandparents, the aunts and uncles and friends and loved ones who are celebrating today. And of course, the biggest welcome to our graduands, whether you're joining us online or here in Convocation Mall. I want to say you are incredible. I know how hard you have worked to see this day, to cross this stage. I know because I was once in your exact spot, sitting through a graduation ceremony. I was excited and a little nervous, as I'm sure many of you are today. I also had a plan. I knew what I wanted to do with my life, or at least I thought I did. You see, my mother was a nurse. Every night when she came back from the hospital, from her shift, she would tell me stories about the patients she was taking care of, about the challenges they were facing and how she was helping them. It really inspired me, so that I decided I wanted to be a nurse as well. So I went to university and I completed my studies with a Bachelor of Science in Nursing, and I loved it. I was sure that my career, my whole career, would be in nursing. A few decades later, and career pivots later, it turns out that life had different plans for me. And it might have different plans for you as well. So today we're celebrating the completion of your program in the Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences. But who knows? One day you might also be a university president. I have yet to meet a 5-year-old who says they want to be a university president when they grow up. It certainly never did occur to me. I sometimes wonder what my 5-year-old self would feel about my own life's path. Anyway, what I'm trying to say to you is that for each of you, today marks the end of one journey and the beginning of a much longer one. And as you move forward, you might be presented with opportunities that you weren't expecting. But I want to tell you the skills that you've developed here and your experiential learning has prepared you to step up and to take those challenges. And of course, I do mean things like doing research, writing papers, and making presentations. But if I'm honest, the most valuable skills that I learned in my first degree in nursing were not how to give an injection or how to measure vital signs or how to use a stethoscope. Instead, I learned to listen, to really listen to the needs of patients and to those around me. I learned how to work well under highly stressful situations, something that I'm sure all of you can relate to. And I learned to apply my critical thinking skills through what's called the nursing process, an approach to problem solving that I still use to this day. And I learned not to faint at the sight of blood. And that one still comes in handy from time to time. So your time in the Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences, no matter what you have studied, has taught you to ask questions and to take nothing at face value. You have learned to critically examine the world around you and the systems and structures that underpin it. And you learn communication and problem-solving skills, how to make persuasive arguments, and how to imagine paths to a more equitable and just world. Those skills and new perspectives will carry you through the rest of your life. And not only that, they're exactly what the world needs. You are now going into a world that is changing faster than at any time in living memory. We faced an ongoing pandemic, growing inequity, a climate crisis. But I'm standing on this stage today because I believe that your time at SFU has given you the education, the skills that you need to embrace every opportunity that comes your way and to create real solutions to our world's most pressing challenges. I've seen your hard work, I've seen your determination, your innovative and creative spirit, your kindness and empathy for others, and I know that you can do it. So maybe you've got your future career all mapped out, just like I thought I once did, or maybe you're just not sure where next to go, and all of that is okay. As I learned firsthand, as long as you're willing to learn and to be open to opportunities, life is going to take you on some wild and wonderful places. So no matter where you go from here, please know that everyone on this stage, every single person in the audience, every faculty and staff member who helped you along the way is so proud of you and always will be. So from the bottom of my heart and on behalf of everyone here at Simon Fraser University, thank you and congratulations.
Thank you very much, President Johnson. SFU's honorary degree is the highest honor conferred by the university. Degrees are awarded to distinguished individuals in recognition of their scholarly, scientific, or artistic achievement, or in recognition of exceptional contribution to the public good through professional or philanthropic activity. Their achievements celebrate our university's values and serve as an inspiration. They are role models to our students, graduates, alumni, and our wider community. The honorary degree will now be conferred. To present the honorary degree candidate, Dr. Afua Cooper, I'm pleased to welcome Dr. June Francis. Dr. Francis is co-founder of the Co-Laboratorio, Director of the Institute for Black and African Diaspora Research and Engagement, co-founder of the Black Caucus at SFU, and an associate professor in the Beatty School of Business, and was the special advisor to the president of Simon Fraser University on anti-racism. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Francis.
Wow, what a great sight to see everyone here. I have waited quite a long time to be at this position, and I must say, Madame Chancellor, and I always love, I turned the wrong way, Madame Chancellor. It is indeed my honor, privilege, and joy to present Afua Cooper, whose groundbreaking work as a scholar, author, poet, and thought leader has catapulted Black and African Canadian studies from its obscurity to the center, carefully, I want to say this again, to the center of Canadian history. Her pioneering courses and research on slavery, Canadian Black studies, Black education, I forgot to bring up Afua. I was gonna leave her there. Oh my goodness, Gloria told me this 10 times, but oh my goodness, I was conferring it on myself. Her pioneering courses and research on slavery, Canadian studies, Black education, women's studies, and the African diaspora courageously remind us, and here I quote Dr. Cooper's own words, that to understand the legacy of slavery, of how slavery is expressed today, we must comprehend the systems of power and oppression, as well as the agency of white supremacy that slavery was premised on. Her work has focused international attention on issues of racism, inclusion, and Black contributions in Canada and globally. I must say, though, that I am brimming with particular pride because Dr. Cooper is a compatriot. She was born, like I was, in that little island called Jamaica. She emigrated to Canada in 1980 and earned a PhD from the University of Toronto. Today, she's a leading figure in African Canadian studies and is the principal investigator for the Canadian Heritage-funded a $1 million research project, A Black People's History of Canada. Never been done before. An initiative. This is an initiative that will produce a seismic shift in education about Canadian history. Dr. Cooper also led the panel that investigated Dalhousie University's relationship to slavery and race and was the lead author of the subsequent report, Lord Dalhousie, History of Slavery and Race. A Killam Research Chair at Dalhousie, her art and scholarship, and here I want you to hear that. She's both an artist and a scholar, which includes numerous exhibits on Black history, bridges a gap between academia and the wider community and the wider world. Her 13 books span history, poetry, and children's literature. One of her books, The Hanging of Angelique, broke new ground and was shortlisted for a Governor General's Award. Dr. Cooper was hailed as one of the 25 women who are shaping the world by Essence magazine, and one of the most influential Canadians by Maclean's. She has received myriad awards, too myriad to mention here, but I will point to a few. The Nova Scotia Human Rights Award, and the very prestigious J.B. Tyrrell Historical Medal, awarded by the Royal Society of Canada for outstanding work in the history of Canada. And she was also appointed Poet Laureate of Halifax from 2018 to 2020. For us in the Black community, Dr. Cooper is both a beacon and an icon for what is possible. Madame Chancellor, in recognition of Dr. Cooper's work in ensuring Canada reckon with its history of slavery, for advancing our understanding of Black studies, and for advancing racial and social justice through education and the arts. I ask that you confer upon Afua Cooper the degree of Doctor of Letters, honoris causa.
Afua Cooper, by virtue of the authority vested in me and in the Senate of this university, I hereby admit you to the degree of Doctor of Letters, honoris causa. Congratulations. Thank you, Such an honor. Congratulations. Dr. Cooper will be hooded by Dr. Wade Parkhouse, Provost and Vice President, Academic Pro Tem, and Mr. Tom Nault, University Registrar and Executive Director, Student Enrollment.
It is now with pleasure that I call upon Dr. Afua Cooper to deliver the Convocation Address. Congratulations.
Greetings and hello, everyone. I thank you all for coming out, and I want to take the opportunity to recognize that I'm standing on Indigenous lands, and so I honor the First Nations of this region and thank them for giving me the privilege to live here on this soil. I also want to take the opportunity to pay homage to my African ancestors, those who left Africa in chains, in slavery, during many centuries, survived the Middle Passage, and someone survived on the island of Jamaica so that I could be here, and June and many other people in this audience. And they survived slavery, discrimination, racism, and colonialism. And here I am to tell that story. So I pay homage to my ancestors. It is truly an honor to receive this great gift from you all at Simon Fraser University. My deepest appreciation and thanks to Dr. June Francis for the nomination, and Chancellor Tamara Vrooman and President Joy Johnston for conferring it. Thank you also to Madame Gloria Chu for her hard work behind the scenes. I also want to thank my daughter, Habiba Cooper Diallo, for accompanying me here this afternoon to receive this honorary degree. It warms my heart to address you all today, the fall 2022 SFU Faculty of Arts and Sciences graduating class. Over the past couple of years, you have worked hard in your courses. You have shown your dedication to your chosen academic pursuits and to the wider community here at Simon Fraser University. Some of you have studied arts, sciences, languages, and mathematics. Outside of your studies, you have been involved in athletics, in dance, volunteering, and other activities. I am so inspired by the breadth of your involvement. I hope you take this breath with you out into the wider world at a time when it is so critical. As Canadians, we are engaged in the reconciliation process with Indigenous and First Nations communities, and we must bring a solid commitment to this work. Here, we are reeling from the efforts of the COVID-19 pandemic, job loss, rising inflation, unemployment, loneliness, separation of family, and homelessness. We witness migrants drowning at sea to reach safety and security. At this momentous time, we all face the threat of nuclear war. Now, I want you to bring your breath, your compassion, wit, and courage, and great human spirit into the world. As someone who works in the field of Black history and culture, especially with respect to the Canadian experience, I understand all too well the need for this breath, compassion, and courage. Black people in Canada have demonstrated great resilience in their journey to contribute, to build, and become recognized as part of this country. Here in Vancouver and British Columbia, Black people have made tremendous contributions as business people, workers, professionals, and city founders. Let me introduce you to two such individuals who were at the very beginning of Vancouver as a city. Their names are Josephine and Philip Sullivan. These two African Americans / Canadians came to BC in 1859. They came to Vancouver and eventually opened a store and a restaurant in what is now Gastown. Their two sons, Charles and Arthur, were signatories to a petition that called for the incorporation of Vancouver as a city. And the city came into being in 1886. The Sullivans were co-founder of the city. So why is it we do not know their story? In 1911, the federal government, then called the Dominion government, passed an order in council banning Black people from migrating to Canada. Simply put, our government did not want Blacks from anywhere in the world to immigrate to Canada. For the government, Canada was to be reserved for whites. You may ask, what about the Black Canadians who were living here already, whose recorded presence dates back to 1604? Good question. The answer is that they endured slavery, segregation, and severe anti-Black racism. So that was the order in council passed by the federal government in 1911, which effectively banned Black people from migrating here. After the Second World War, which ended in 1945, there was a small opening to this situation. Select groups of Black people from around the world, namely students, farm workers, and domestic workers, were allowed to enter on a restrictive basis. My own mother, Ruth Cooper, contributed her skills, labor, and talents when she came to Canada and worked as a domestic servant. What I want you to do is to take inspiration from these stories, because despite the severe discrimination, Blacks fought back by displaying strength and courage. It is indeed a great honor for you to receive a university degree. Most people on the planet do not have that opportunity. I want you to ask yourself how you may use your education to benefit society. What do you want to give to the world? What do you expect to receive from the world? Be strong as you go out there and are met with unexpected challenges, because you will be met with some challenges. But be positive. Practice gratitude. Meditate. Go within yourself. Find a community. And if you already have a community, develop and grow it. Develop a spiritual practice. With my warmest regards, good luck as you go forth. All the very best. Thank you very much, graduating class.
Thank you very much, Dr. Cooper, for your inspirational words and encouraging us to go forward and to be thinking about our role in the world. As part of Convocation, the Alumni Association will present a Simon Fraser University alumni pin to graduates after they leave the stage. Our alumni are incredibly important to us, and we're pleased that the symbolic presentation will launch you on your new role as an alumni of Simon Fraser University. Ms. Barbara McPhail received a Bachelor of Arts in Communications in 1995. She is currently a member of the SFU Alumni Association Board. I invite Barbara to the lectern to bring greetings to the graduands. Barbara.
Thank you, President Johnson. Good afternoon to the newest alumni. Today, your relationship with SFU evolves. You are officially members of the SFU alumni community, a community of change makers, of problem solvers, leaders, collaborators, industrious alumni around the globe. Wherever you go, alumni from SFU will be cheering you on. As you cross the stage today, be proud of your accomplishments and everything it took to be in this moment. Thank you for investing your time, your energy, your talents in this great university. As alumni, you now serve as ambassadors in SFU in your community. Through your journey, you will also inspire current and future students to dream, to strive for excellence, and to make their own mark in the world. Please stay connected with SFU alumni. We provide opportunities to learn and grow, thrive, through local, national, and international opportunities, career resources, library services, and many other value-added benefits. And we want to hear from you, and we want to celebrate your successes. Following today's ceremony, you are all invited to your faculty's celebration reception. So to find out more, there's information in your program, and there's a QR code that will tell you the location and event details. We look forward to seeing you there. Congratulations to SFU's global community of alumni.
Thank you very much, Barbara. Before the graduates are presented individually to the Chancellor, Ms. Janvi Indatissa, a member of the graduating class, will provide the graduation address. Janvi has a keen interest in finance and econometrics and is graduating today with a Bachelor of Arts. While working and volunteering with organizations that reflect her values, she's developed positive and inclusive spaces that encourage community development and social justice. Janvi hopes to pursue a career in her field and to serve the community. Please join me in welcoming Ms. Indatissa. Good for you? Yeah.
Hello and good afternoon, everybody. My name is Janvi Indatissa. I was born and raised in Sri Lanka, and as such, I am a visitor on these territories, and I'm thankful to be here today with all of you. I feel incredibly humbled to be giving this speech, and I've been allowed 5 minutes to try and say something to you that you will remember for the rest of your lives, so no pressure. I'd like to start by acknowledging that we are currently on the unceded and ancestral territories of the Musqueam, Squamish, Tsleil-Waututh, and Coquitlam nations. This land certainly knows itself much more than I ever could, but I want to express my gratitude for the things it has allowed me to do and see, the people I have met, and the home it has provided. I say this because it's important to be mindful of the spaces we occupy while we are here due to the impacts of colonialism, dispossession, and the ongoing violence against Indigenous people. I want to thank Elder Margaret and the host nations who welcomed us here today, and a further thank you to the Honorable Chancellor, President, staff members, fellow graduands, families, friends, and loved ones who are now witnessing this ceremony live. A friend of mine once told me that we are a collection of all the people we have ever met and who have ever loved us, and I wholeheartedly agree with this assessment. So I say a big thank you to the family and friends of the Graduands. My family has greatly supported me, so I must pass on my extreme gratitude for the life I've been given. My father sacrificed countless hours of sleep, so that we, his family, could have a comfortable life filled with opportunity, and my mother was my constant emotional support system whenever I had any sort of academic difficulty. And I grew up with an older brother who always encouraged me to be myself and pushed me forwards. And this support system is how you find me standing here today, so thank you to your family. And thank you to my friends and loved ones who have stood by me and are here cheering me on. Many of us who have journeyed here for an education understand the importance of a good support group, so I hope after this ceremony you will express your gratitude towards your loved ones, as I will. Moving away from thanks and speaking of this journey at SFU, I think it's essential to acknowledge our work in committing ourselves to our academic journeys. All of us as students have sacrificed a lot to be here today. We have given our time with our loved ones, we've moved across the province, the country, and even the world to commit to our education. Being a student means you're focusing on your studies, but you're also volunteering or working, taking care of your family and your friends. We have endured so much uncertainty that has impacted our learning experience, like the pandemic, remote learning, and then moving back into in-person, and then kind of not knowing what's going on. And we have witnessed various social movements and moments that have occurred during our time here in post-secondary. I just want to highlight all of these because they have influenced our learning as well. The movements we have been fortunate to be a part of and witness have prepared us for a future that is both exciting and nerve-wracking at the same time. When we look back at these moments, I hope that this will be a reminder that we have the opportunity to influence the spaces around us. Just as we have been influenced by SFU, now is our chance to shape the spaces we occupy with what we have learned from both inside and outside the classroom. Personally, for me, SFU has been a place that has given me many opportunities, allowed me to make connections that have shaped me into who I am, and has influenced how I make my way in this world. As much as it has been an amazing experience, I have to balance what I have to say by acknowledging the good, but also recognizing the barriers we have faced because those trying times have defined us and shaped us in our time here. I hope we can carry everything we've learned to the furthest reaches. And to SFU, that has created a space to aid us in accessing our potential, I say thank you and ask for SFU to move forward as well. You have influenced us, and now I hope our presence here in this institution has influenced you. Please pay attention to the student groups seeking equity and justice and do a better job serving marginalized communities. I say this, thank you. I say this because it's important to leave these places better than we found them, and I know that many students before us have worked hard so that we can come here and build off their accomplishments, and so we can do the same for future students. I want to especially acknowledge the BIPOC students who have faced various barriers in these spaces. You have pushed through everything to be here today, and your presence is incredibly important to making these spaces better in academic institutions, not just for you, but for students who will be here after you leave. To my fellow graduates, I don't believe I have any words of wisdom for you because each person's academic journey is different, so your learning and growth has been different. But I do have a small request. Take your experiences, the memories you've made, all your sacrifices and accomplishments to do good work in a meaningful way with an open mind and an open heart, and work to make these places better than you found them. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, Janvi. And I want to thank you, for holding us accountable and encouraging us to do better as a university as we seek to make sure that we serve our BIPOC community. And I want to also encourage you, or thank you very, very much for encouraging our graduates to continue the work that they've begun here while students at Simon Fraser University. The members of the graduating class will now be presented to the Chancellor to be admitted en masse to their degrees. So I'm going to ask, can the graduates please rise if you are able? Madam Chancellor, I present to you those scholars who have fulfilled the statutory requirements laid down by the Senate of this university and request that you confer upon them the degrees for which they are now recommended.
It is my pleasure to confer the degrees on those graduates assembled, but before I do, I would like to ask that you just take a moment to just look around and take this moment in, not through our phones or through a screen, but be present and take up the invitation that Dr. Cooper gave, which said that the vast majority of people on this planet will not have the opportunity to celebrate a moment like this as you have today, and the invitation that Janvi just gave us to take our learnings forward. And then when I finish saying this, you get to cheer. You ready? By virtue of the authority vested in me and in the Senate of this university, I hereby admit you to your various and several degrees. Congratulations.
You may be seated. The members of the graduating class here in Convocation Mall will now be presented individually to the Chancellor. But first, a few requests for those of you who are in the mall today. Family and friends, we welcome you to applaud, cheer, share your joy for your graduate as they cross the stage. But as a courtesy to others, please remain seated until the conclusion of the ceremony. Today is a day for celebration. Graduands, after you have crossed the stage, I invite the doctoral graduates to join their colleagues on the platform, and to all other honored graduates, out of respect for your peers, please return and remain in your seat until the end of the ceremony. And now, the moment we have been all waiting for. The degrees in the Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences will now be presented. Madam Chancellor, I invite the Associate Dean, Graduate and Postdoctoral Studies, Dr. Roxanne Panchazzi, to begin the presentation of those who have earned graduate degrees.
Madam Chancellor, the graduates of the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in the Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences will now be presented. I invite Dr. Lara Campbell, Dean Pro Tem of the Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences, to join us.
Dr. Micah Kneshelman, supervised by Dr. Garth Davies. Dr. King Wui Leung, supervised by Dr. Yue Wang. Dr. Unnati Patel, supervised by Dr. Stephen Hart. Dr. Carlos Sierra Hernandez, supervised by Dr. Marlene Moretti. Dr. Xiaolin Sun, supervised by Dr. Bertil Antoine. Dr. Matthew Wakefield, supervised by Dr. Alexander Chapman.
Madam Chancellor, the graduates of master's degrees in the Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences will now be presented.
Simran Ahmed. Rashidat Ayantayo. James Blumhagen. Megan Bobetsis. Taylor Breckles. Lydia Castro. Lucy Digney. Marina Dos Santos Candea. Madison Edge Almond. Alicia Guerin. Kenzie Hansen. Yuchi Hu. Lena Jin. Gina Jubei. Shu Liu. Sajid Faiz Malik. Basil Matar. Carter McPherson. Milos Mihailovic. Elisa Farion. Jacob Schober. Marhia Teixeira. Cassandra Turner. Rashmi Weerasinghe. Jesse Weir. Siki Zhu. P. Carmel Marie Zagre. Erica Zaldivar Santana. Yushuan Zhang. Wenji Zi. Liam Dare. Miguel Antonio Deason. Ghazaleh Akbarnajad Tushahi. Alistair Butcher.
Madam Chancellor, I invite the Dean Pro Tem of the Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences, Dr. Laura Campbell, to present the students earning undergraduate degrees.
Madam Chancellor, the graduates of bachelor's degrees in the Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences will now be presented.
Saleha Ali. Kathleen Anderson. Yumiho Aruga. Julie Astley. Olivia Babin. Hershey Faith Baltazar. Wyatt Barone. Akanksha Batla. Nicole Beaumont. Maya Barrios Carballo. Noah Burson. Simran Baraj. Amelia Bossano. Esther Bernazzi. Christopher Burrett. Paula Marie Ines Callip. Mylin Casulo Diaz. Maria Castillo. Brittany Chelly. Vidisha Chawla. Blair Chartrand. Ziwei Chong. Reheina Baiza Martinez. Thomas Beatty. Selena Bismal. Isabel Black. Isabel Burrows. Brandon Chan. Kirut Chatwal. Arshnur Chavla. Si Yi Chen. Xiangting Chen. Xin Chen. Xinyi Chen. Zunda Chen. Yul Chen. Wincy Chuk. Matthew Chung. Rachel Chung. Anastasia Chitova. Tina Chong. Anna Victoria Biklan Chow. Caitlin Chow. Sarah Chow. Anushka Chowdhury. Ruth Chu. Gregory Clark. Shepard Collins. Brianna Cook. Marina Cornale. Jonathan Cornelis. Sierra Cruz. Christine May Cruz. Ariane Jurignana. Michael Doms. Michelle De Silva. Hazel David. Jameson DeGia. Rafael de Oliveira Ortiz. Dominic D'Onofrio. Navdeep Diol. Pardeep Dhaliwal. Catherine Diokino. Yulia Dmitrieva. Shuai Dong. Robbie Dosanjh. Penny Dover. Jaspreet Dulay. Nathaniel Dumlau. Hannah Edelat. Maya Evans. Zoe Evans. Chi Fan. Dina Fazeli. Annika Fong. Stephanie Fowler. Liam Freeland. Lan Gao. Xinyue Gao. Pupneet Garcha. Adam George. Jonathan Geraldez. Suziana Garib. Nilufar Gose. Kari Otonio William Gina. Dionysius Kenneth Glavis. Pritz Geraldine Gomez. Jerome Mari Gonzalez. Avery Grantham. Jasraj Grewal. Manav Grewal. Yi Yong Gu. Tao Guan. Hong Yi Guo. Max Guscott. Fatima Haidari. Xiaotong Han. Mishon Hans. Kondakar Salahin Haq. Emily Hartley. Wentong He. Yuanhua He. Bianca Hempston. Katie Hone. Ching Xuan Huang. Jing Huang. Sarah Huang. Jia Hong Huang. Manahil Imran. Janvi Chamathka Indatissa. Ian Roosevelt Jap. Yunli Jian. Meiyi Jiang. Xinlong Jiang. Yilong Jiang. Chanel Junkus. Pavandeep Kong. Nicholas Katusenko. Tara Kaviani. Jasminara Kazi. Shinfan K. Stephanie Keith. Thomas Kempton. Adil Khan. Nashra Khan. Saba Kuziri. Alice Kim. Mio Jin Kim. Sung Jun Kim. Brett Kirby. Katarzyna Kolecki. Samantha Kong. Mai Ni La. Tiana Lackner. Crystal Lagerboom. Jenna Lane Farrell. Christiane Lemmy Vizani. Megan Laycock. Lana Leal. Jerry Lee. Ju Young Lee. Shannon Lee. Stephen Lee. Yelin Lee. Joy Lee Shee. Andrea Legaspi. Sage Leon. King Wan Leung. Nya Wing Leung. Hui Shan Lee. Jingming Lee. Shuai Lee. Yunfan Lee. Weiting Liang. Jiwa Liu. Kichung Liu. Liang Liu. Shiru Liu. Yijie Liu. Jia Wen Long. Victoria Lopatka. Rafael Losarelli. Bella Liu. Junie Liu. Bingyu Luan. Julia Lunot. Alina Luo. Hanlin Liu. Jingyang Ma. Josephine Ma. Gabrielle McGregor. Matthew Ma. Michelle Mack. Ashley Marcus. Maria Marshall. Jaskarat Matu. Jatinder Matu. Megan Main Davies. Gabriella McKenzie. Elena McEwen. Miley McMillan. Sandeep Minhas. Zeba Abdul Aziz Molu. Anahita Monferred. Matteo Montaliani. Amreen Munjal. Michael Monk. Kiera Murray. Guled Musa. Isabel Naidu. Jeremy Netherton. Yaching Ni. Kiranpreet Nijar. Emerald O'Donnell. Richard Oda. Paul Odukayan. Sam O. Yang. Jenna Palmer. Anita Pan. Sassoon Papesian. Kizer Pardan. Tanaya Parmar. Sarah Parsons. Raksha Patel. Michael Pierce. Sydney Penner. Tiana Michelle Philly. Jessica Pico. Nicole Pidpahora. Zaida Pirani. Aaron Punian. Madison Portner. Scott Postulo. Michaela Prentice. Kok Ying Pun. Natalia Radke. Alvi Khalida Rahman. Nisha Rai. Prabjit Rai. Sarah Rain. Nishan Randawa. Cole Regan. Cody Andrea Rivera. Christine Robinson. Jade Robinson. Miguel Rodriguez. Hannah Rolliston. Tasha Romaine. Noor Rustam. John Sabado. Patricia Sacristia. Karen Sandhu. Metab Sandhu. Monica Sanga. Nikisha Sanga. Suki Sangera. Dilario Santiago. Cheyenne Seidel. Ananya Sethi. Xuan Yi Sheng. Arjun Sharma. Xinyi Shen. Shuming Shen. Lan Shi. Sorab Sidhu. Avneet Kaur Sidhu. Karine Leandro Silva. Shalina Singh. Hemant Singla. Erica Smith. Zain Sohail. Amreen Sohal. Sarah Sohaili. Yi Zhen Sun. Praupalin Suwanaruang. Alicia Ta. Lauren Tang. Alexander Tarasenko. Victoria Teo. Yiyuan Chun. Hin Zen To. Larissa Taves. Than Trat. Ilian Urkidi. Grayson Van Grohl. Hugh Mai Sarah Van. Emily Vetter. Angelica Villamin. Sylvia Vicentine. Pavel Vlasov. Gwanda Wang. Lin Wang. Menghao Wang. Chishin Wang. Xinchi Wang. Xinlin Wang. Jared Wagonist. Rachel Wilson. Michael Winstanley. Sarah Wong. Veronica Wong. Alexis Wong Strohmeyer. Sarah Wright. Jason Wu. Qian Wu. Tim Wu. Rachel Zhang. Shifeng Zhu. Hannah Yang. Ronglu Yang. Ying Yang. Hao Yao. Ronald Yao. Yuanyi Yao. Kristen Yi. Aya Yunus. Patrick Yu. Tianshu Yu. Charity Yuen. Runyang Zhang. Jiran Zhai. Ensiki Zhang. Minmin Zhang. Shen Zhang. CGA Zhang. Ying Zhang. Jian Zhang. Jiu Jiang. Zishuo Zhao. Ziyi Zhao. Chao Zheng. Zur Zhang. Li Zhou. Jingyi Zhu. Pengyu Zhu. Daria Zulfagari. Yangyu Zong. Eileen Zuniga Quiroz. Ziqing Zhuo. Diane McFarlane.
Madam Chancellor, the students who have completed the requirements for diplomas and certificates in the Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences will now be presented.
Vicky Wu. Yvonne Brecke. And Roxy Lewis.
You're doing a great job. Thank you so much. Thank you. Congratulations to you. The Gordon M. Schrun Gold Medal is awarded each year to an outstanding student in any faculty who has completed the requirements for a bachelor's degree during the preceding summer, fall, or spring semester. The award is presented to the student who has maintained a high scholastic standing during not fewer than 6 semesters at SFU, and who, by example, has shown outstanding qualities of character and unselfish devotion to Simon Fraser University. The medal is named after our founding Chancellor, Dr. Gordon M. Schrun, under whose leadership the university was built and who remained a strong supporter of the university. Ms. Sin Spencer Chen was the recipient of this award in June and was unable to attend and is joining us today. Ms. Chen. Ms. Chen Spencer graduated with a Bachelor of Arts in Psychology in June. Her thesis examined the dehumanization of suicide attempt survivors. She is passionate about advancing psychology and social justice and contributed to research in 6 different labs while maintaining a GPA of 4.21. She has also been a committed volunteer both within and beyond SFU. This fall, she joined SFU's clinical psychology program to conduct research on borderline personality disorder. On behalf of SFU, we congratulate Ms. Chen on her outstanding achievements. Congratulations. Very well deserved. Will the graduating class please rise if you are able? I think I've got some grads behind me as well. Great. I am so honored that you are here today, and I congratulate each and every one of you. The completion of a degree is an impressive achievement, and I encourage your friends and family to communicate their hearty congratulations to you by whatever means. And for those of you online and in the mall, on the platform, please join me in applauding the October 2022 graduates. That was impressive. But now I invite you, the members of the graduating class, to reciprocate by applauding your family, friends, faculty and staff, and all those who have helped you reach this goal. Please be seated.
Friends, this completes the formal awarding of degrees. Some graduands recommended by Senate for degrees today are unable to be present here in Convocation Mall, and their names have therefore not been read out. I now admit them to the appropriate degrees as shown in the program. Let's clap in case they're watching us online. Before we depart, I have several thank yous to express. First, of course, to all of you here and online, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate all the friends and families who have joined the graduates today. And an event like this doesn't happen without many, many volunteers behind the scenes and up front, making it work well, from staff, from faculty, and from just community volunteers. I would like us to take a moment to thank all the volunteers who made this celebration and this convocation such a success. Thank you. Honored graduates, family and friends, you're now invited to attend your faculty celebration reception, and it's a beautiful afternoon to do so. Event details can be found by scanning the QR code in your convocation program book on page 1. We look forward to continuing the celebration with you this afternoon. This brings to a close the formal part of this afternoon's convocation. Please rise if you are able and remain standing in your places until the platform party recesses. Thank you so much again. Congratulations to the graduates. Good afternoon. Thank you.
Congratulations once again to today's graduates. Our ceremony has now come to a close. For the safety of all in attendance and to reduce crowding, we will exit Convocation Mall beginning with the graduates at the front of the mall and our guests seated at the back of the mall, followed by those in the center of the mall. Please remain seated until an usher encourages you to exit. Graduates at the front rows and guests in the back rows, please proceed with exiting